Hey guys, Top Pops here, and if you haven't watched Avengers Endgame, go watch it because today I'm going to spoil everything what happens all the way through it. So let's get started. So at the start, it goes from Hawkeye. So it's Hawkeye's family's having a picnic on his farm. Then when his daughter goes to pick up her arrow from where she shot, Hawkeye turns away to just pick up something. Then all of his family's gone, and he doesn't know what happened because he hasn't been in the Avengers since Civil War because he was in Captain America's team, and he got the thing around his ankle like Ant-Man. Then after Hawkeye's bit, uh, they go. He goes back to the scene goes back to Avengers base where they don't know what's happened to all the friends. They try and find them, but they don't know where they've gone. Then the next scene goes to space with Tony Stark and Nebula in Peter Quill's spaceship, and he records a message for Pepper on his helmet and saying he loves her and he'll think of her when he drifts into space. And Nebula um comes to Tony, but Tony is asleep, but she thinks he's dead, so he puts him on a chair. Then a massive light beams from nowhere, and it's eventually Captain Marvel what saves the people. Then she brings them back to Earth. Then everyone's there, even Pepper Potts, and Tony's not very well because he hasn't had that much oxygen since he's in space. Then it turns to 5 years later, and Captain Marvel has no haircut because her normal haircut was long. Now it's short with like a little weird thing on there on the top. And then Hulk or Bruce Banner becomes Professor Hulk. So it's pretty much like the Hulk, but with a Bruce Banner side with it. It's a bit confusing. I didn't really get that first. Then I got a then not Tony Stark. Steve Rogers goes to a cricket stadium or whatever in America, and he talks to a few other people what they've been through, and because half of their family's gone, half their friends have gone. Then one person is one of the directors. It's Joe Russo, but you won't really recognise him. Well, you could recognise him because he has like just a little moustache. He does, and then he goes back to the Avengers base, and they know where Thanos is because Nebula had a tracker where Thanos was. Then all of them go where Thanos is. It's a forest, not forest, it's like yeah, it's like a forest actually, pretty much. Then all of them go in his little huts, a farm. That was a farm, and he's just doing everything, like making food. But all of his armor, what he had in Infinity War, is on a stand. Then Thor comes in, and everyone just comes in saying, "Where's the stones?" But he used the stones to destroy the stones, so he snapped his fingers again. Then that's where all the stones disappeared. Then Thor chopped off Thanos' hand with the gauntlet on. Then he was speaking about rubbish. Then Thor went for the head this time, what he should have done in Infinity War. Then he chopped off Thanos' head. then then Thor just leaves, and I can't remember the bit what happens after there, but the bit what I can remember after a few bits, Thor goes somewhere, and Thor goes to a new Asgard. Then Hulk and Rocket go to find him. Then he doesn't want to have any visitors. Then um, Valkyrie comes and see what they're doing. Then they go into Thor's hut, and Korg's in there with his little purple thing, and Thor comes in saying, "Oh, do you want a beer? There's no Wi-Fi," but Korg is playing on Fortnite, and he is playing with Nuke Bomber. I don't know if you can even have that name on Fortnite. So I don't know if that's just a made up name or I don't know. So he the nuke bomber calls Korg a asshole. Then Thor gets angry and says to the nuke bomber through the mic, "If you don't log off this game instantly, he will fly to his Thor fly to his house and rip off his arms and put them up his bum." That sounds a bit weird. Then after that, I don't know if I've got this right or it's a bit weird. Ant-Man is in a storage thing with his car. A rat goes into the car, presses some crawls over some button, and Ant-Man just comes out. But he feels like it's been 5 minutes, but it's been 5 years. Then he finds Cassie, who's all grown up now. Then she tells him what's happened. Then he goes to the Avengers base and says um he's got all of the equipment to the quantum realm. They should go back in time and get the stones. So I think after that bit, Black Widow, or this is I can't remember which bit it's after. Or it could be before or after, I don't know, I can't remember. Black Widow knows where Hawkeye is, but he's turned to Ronin the assassin. So he assassinates people who are bad. Then he he has a sword like that, he goes like that, he doesn't chop off his arm, he just like that, then he puts it back into his bag, undo his hood, takes off his mask, and he turns around, and Black Widow's there waiting for him. Then they go back to Avengers base, get changed into the quantum realm suits, and even Professor Hulk is there. Then they go Hulk, Ant-Man, Captain America, and Iron Man go back to 2012, where there was 3 stones. It was the Tesseract, the Time Stone, and another stone, but I can't remember what it is. So Professor Hulk goes to the Ancient One who has the stone, but they look for Doctor Strange, but he's not Doctor Strange yet. He's Doctor Stephen Strange, so he's working in an hospital. Then Hulk gets punched, just like that. And if you've seen Doctor Strange, he comes out of his body, and then they have a talk. Bruce Banner, it's Bruce this time, not Hulk. Bruce is like a ghost, but ish now. Then she explains if you pick up the stones, there's a alternate timeline what they might go into, and then Bruce tells the Ancient One that Doctor Strange is going to give the stone to Thanos. which she's not happy about. Then she gives him the stone. Hulk's body goes back into Bruce. Then Iron Man and Ant-Man fly up to Avengers Tower, where near the end of the first Avengers bit happened, where Hawkeye blows out Loki's face. Then Ant-Man gets something, don't know how it is. Then they get the Tesseract or the staff, but something else has got the Tesseract. It's the Crossbones, it's that one. It's him. They think he's working for SHIELD, but he's working for Hydra, the secret. Then they go in an elevator, they stop, and Captain America, the present one from Endgame, goes into the elevator, and they think he's the Captain America from 2012, but it's not. So he says, "Oh," they said, "Oh, keep it," and but the Crossbones, I don't know his name, so he says, "Sorry, Cap, but I think we should have it." Then he whispers into his ear, "Hail Hydra." Then he has the case, walks like on like a bridge. I don't even know what it was. Then he goes into there's Cap right there from Endgame with the case. There's Cap from 2012. They fight. Then the Endgame's Captain America his thing with Peggy on and falls out of his pocket. Then Captain America from 2012 says, "Where'd you get that from?" Then Captain America from 2012 puts him in a headlock, and in the Endgame version says, "Bucky is alive." Then Endgame 1 knocks him out. Then they go back somewhere. But Iron Man and Captain America go back to is it Captain America, the first Avenger, goes in like 1940s, where the Second World War was done, but I can't remember that bit. But they get the Tesseract, what they didn't actually get. So and then they went back to the present day. Then Black Widow and Hawkeye go to Red Skull, who has the Soul Stone, but they need to sacrifice one of them to get the Soul Stone, so they have to jump off a hill-ish. Then they just get the stone. Then they fight whoever they say, and Hawkeye says to Black Widow, "Tell my family I love them." But Black Widow says, "Tell them yourself." Then she tases Hawkeye. Then she jumps. He gets the stone. Then they go back somewhere, and I can't remember what actually happened. I know they get all the stones, and Iron Man makes a new gauntlet with all the stones in there. But Thor says, "Oh, I'll try it to bring everyone back." Then but Hulk is the strongest Avenger, so he grabs the gauntlet on his right hand. He snaps his fingers. Then something happens. I can't remember what happened after that bit. The only bit I can remember was after that bit was Nebula brings Thanos back, but it's not Nebula. It's not the Nebula from Endgame. It's another Nebula from like Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Yeah. Then he comes back. He has all of the the Jatari, Outriders, everything from like 2012, the Outriders and Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man go to see him, and that's pretty much it I can remember. Oh, by the way, Tony Stark, he had all the stones from Thanos, he snaps his fingers, he dies, everyone comes back somehow, I can't remember, but it didn't actually die in Infinity War. They came back in a weird way with Doctor Strange, a bit weird. Then, then snaps his, Iron Man snaps his fingers, then they have a funeral, and Pepper Potts put from the original Iron Man, his original arc reactor says, proof that Tony Stark, proof that Iron Man has a heart, then it ends there. But Captain America goes back in time to put stones back somehow, and he stays in 1940 with not Pepper, Peggy, so that he can have his dance. Then Bucky and Falcon see an old man looking to the lake, and they go to him. You know, Falcon goes to him, and he has his shield. Captain America has a shield, but it's an old Captain America this time, so it's wrinkly, weird. Then Captain America says, "You should be Captain America." But in the comics, that's a reference to the comics. Falcon becomes Cap. Falcon becomes Captain America, but in another comic, Bucky becomes Captain America. So I don't know if they switch. I don't really know. Then I think that's the ending. So I hope you liked this video. See you guys next time. Bye.